History 01 with a mention of the Epic of Gilgamesh, the first fictional story ever written. Now, you should take note this story was written in a broader religious context, which I will cover today. The Epic of Gilgamesh is about Gilgamesh, the king of the Sumerian city of Uruk. He is said to be 2/3 god, 1/3 man. I won't spoil the story for you, just as I would never spoil the story of my own novel, The Tale of the Walks, but I will say that Gilgamesh experiences many encounters with the Sumerian gods, and these encounters lead him to contemplate the meaning of life and whether or not immortality is even possible. The philosophical themes in this long poem are deep, profound, and enlightening. And these are qualities that I, as a fantasy writer myself, find lacking in most contemporary fantasy literature. Unlike scriptures, which are meant to be read as books that may or may not be accurate in describing history or the universe, the Epic of Gilgamesh is meant to be taken as a philosophical inquiry about the relationship between gods and men. To the Sumerians, the gods lived far above in the skies, looking down on the affairs of men with curiosity, apathy, joy, anger, or wisdom. The king of the Sumerian gods was Anu, the god of the sky. Much like how the Hindu gods usually rode their own animals, Anu owned a bull called the Bull of Heaven. The Sumerian gods survived up until Babylonian astronomy. The word heaven would no longer meant the skies, and instead would have meant the divine, mystical, spiritual world that you and I already know from our religious friends and family. Uruk is not only the home of Gilgamesh, but also the sacred city of Anu. The Sumerians attributed the success of Uruk to not just the Euphrates River and the technology of that time, but also the blessings of Anu. Now, everything I've said about Anu, I put a link to my source in the description below. However, there's also Enlil, the god of atmosphere, and Enki, the god of water. Again, links to them in the description below. Below Anu, Enlil, and Enki are many other important gods, such as Ninhursag, the goddess of the earth, Inanna, the goddess of beauty, Utu, the sun god, Nana, the moon god, and many, many other fascinating deities. Now that I have covered Sumerian religion, I will wrap up on Sumer in the next 3 lectures so that afterward we can move on to subsequent Mesopotamian civilizations. Join me once again in my series on mental experiences in Psychology 01.